All right. I think we're live. I remembered how to go live on YouTube. It's always a little like, okay, all the things have to connect so I can do my slides and everything. Thank you so much for already starting the conversation in the chat. I can relate to a lot of these procrastination projects: the fridge, the toy room, kid crafts and papers, laundry. I have two baskets of laundry in my bedroom right now that I need to deal with today. Kelly says she's not procrastinating. She just has too many things on the to-do list and periodically feels overwhelmed by it all. And if that is you as well, and not just Kelly, I think that that is often most of us. We all relate to that. So you are in the right place. You have found your friends, and we are going to tackle this together. We're not just going to give one another excuses or say, oh, it doesn't matter. It does matter. And there are good ways to deal with being overwhelmed and bad ways to deal with being overwhelmed. And honestly, a lot of the advice when you feel like you have too much to do and you feel pulled in a million directions and you're overwhelmed by it all, too much of the advice that is out there says to women, just cut back. Just stop trying to do it all. And I mean, we're not going to do it all, but by saying stop trying to do it all, what they mean is stop trying sometimes, or sometimes that's the way we interpret it, or stop trying to do so many things without asking first, are these all things that we should be doing? And just because we feel overwhelmed and like there's too much to do doesn't necessarily mean that we actually have too much to do. It can be a perception problem, a perspective problem, an attitude problem that we actually can do something about and see real progress in our homes. And we can stop feeling overwhelmed without cutting out our life and say, well, sorry, kids, I'm overwhelmed, so no dinner tonight. Sorry, everyone, I'm overwhelmed, so there's not going to be clean clothes today. If you don't tackle all those areas at some point, it doesn't necessarily mean it's today, but at some point, the kid crafts, the scary bedroom, decorating the house with photos that you have, wall art, there's just waiting for you, all of that. We don't have to just say, well, I guess I can't. We can set ourselves up for making progress, even if that progress doesn't necessarily look like what we would like it to look like. All right. The email link didn't work. That's a bummer. I hate it when that happens. Nothing I can really do about that right now. Okay. Glad that you found us just on YouTube. All right. Oops. So, one thing that I have today, the one thing that I love to do during these live workshops, and our members who are here today, like Elena and Dawn, and Sarah, Missy, okay, good. I like to give away prizes, like real prizes, not just, a digital extra something. I like to do that too. If you actually registered for this workshop by email, then you have, or you will receive an email about getting a free PDF resource on addressing your phone habits, which is very tied together with baby steps, because we can replace our bad phone habits with a single baby step and really get some fast traction. So you can get a PDF on addressing those phone habits if you share this workshop. Again, there's an email if you are coming out, if you've signed up, if you registered, and some of you are just finding this on YouTube live, and that's also, you are welcome as well. But if you signed up for the emails, then you'll get that offer, and you just follow the instructions there to get that. And Lisa, would you put the link if people are just finding this, the sign up to get all of that, the extras and the replays and all of that is simplyconvivial.com/steady. simplyconvivial.com/steady. But for you who are here live right now, I have actual purple envelope prizes that I am going to give away a few right now for sharing this workshop. So you're live on YouTube, use the YouTube share button and share, like, whatever option there on that share button works best for you. Share it out there with a friend, with, on social media. Like, I don't even actually know what options it gives you when you hit share. I just know there is a share button. And you can share it by text or by however, and then tell me in the chat that you shared it. And the first 3 people that say that they shared it, I have 3 stickers and 2 bookmarks that you'll get in the mail. Missy Gardner is the first one. Amy Austin is the second one. And Ashley O'Connell is the third one. All right, we're going to do prizes again later, so stay tuned and keep it up. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing it. I really appreciate that. So Missy, Amy, and Ashley, email support@simplifiedorganization.com with your mailing address, and I will pop those to you in the mail later today. All right. Thank you so much for sharing. So I have slides and everything. If I can remember how to do all of this. Yes. Awesome. Okay, here we go. So this free workshop here is called Steady Steps: Why Baby Steps Work When You Have No Motivation. We all get to that point where there is so much to do. There are the areas that we have not had time to tackle. There are the to-do items that are all calling for our attention and all feel like we have to get them done. And it is difficult to figure out what to do next. And sometimes we think that we want someone else to just tell us, just tell me what I should do and I'll do it. When actually the work of homemaking is the work of exercising wisdom and prudence for nurturing the people in our home, building them up. And so it isn't the kind of job that someone else can actually just tell you what to do, and if you do it, you will have success. Success in homemaking, in mothering, in home and life management is all about growing in wisdom, discernment, prudence, and that takes practice and thought and effort. It's not like running a machine. It's like growing a garden, and you have to figure out what your climate is and what plants you're actually doing. And every garden is somewhat different. And there are different ways to garden, and multiple ways work. It's just figuring out what is going to work for your particular situation and personality and climate and all of those factors we have to be engaged in the process to begin to see real traction and progress. Well, I am sorry that YouTube is putting ads on in the middle. They're not supposed to do that. I will afterwards see if I can fix that. That's obnoxious. Okay, so if we haven't met yet, if you are just finding us on YouTube or a friend shared it with you and you're joining now, I'm Mystie Winckler. I write and podcast at simplyconvivial.com about home management, life management, mothering, homeschooling, running a home. That is what I write about. And I have a book called, it's right here, it's purple, Simplified Organization, Learn to Love What Must Be Done. And my goal is to see as many women as possible become engaged, competent, cheerful Christian homemakers. That's what this workshop is going to be about. That's what my book is about. That's what my podcast is about. So if you want help and encouragement and pep talks for increasing your own ability to exercise wisdom and discernment and prudence in your home, then you've come to the right spot. Subscribe here on YouTube and you'll get the podcast. Later on, I'll have some ways that you can get on the email list, and I'm sure people can share too in the chat their favorite ways to get encouragement and all of that. We have some longtime listeners and participants that is always fun to see in the chat. All right, so this workshop, looks like I need to move my little photo. There we go. So this workshop is for recovering perfectionists. And what I have found is that many of us are perfectionists without realizing it. Or maybe you're just coming to realize that you're a perfectionist. Did you know that it's possible to have the tendencies of a slob while still being a perfectionist? This was a misconception I had for years, and why I never thought that I was a perfectionist, because I cannot quilt because that requires straight lines and that drives me nuts. Any kind of hobby that requires precision, like, count me out. So I never thought I was a perfectionist, because those are hobbies for perfectionists. I don't like those kind of hobbies. Therefore, I'm not a perfectionist. And my mom was actually the one who called me out on this, as, I think I was almost 30 or something. And she made a comment and said that my sister was a perfectionist like I was. And I was like, what, who are you calling a perfectionist? What are you talking about? But she was basically saying because she won't start a thing until she can, like, color code and organize it exactly the way that she wants it. And I was like, oh, wait, is that weird? Is that a perfectionist? And, my mom was right. Now that I also have adult children, like, I want to make sure I say, mom was right. My mom was right. And maybe, when my own children are 40, they also will be able to say the same thing. They already do somewhat, but it's our little inside joke. So my mom was right. I was a perfectionist. The whole reason that I was so messy, and that I still have messy tendencies, is because my initial impulse, my default setting, is I don't want to even start at all until I can fully complete it, like, all the way, and make it the way I would like it to be. And there's, like, almost never time for that. In fact, I have on my list today, I really have to clean the bathroom, because I've been putting it off, because I have this is funny. A big part of it is because the tub really needs to be scrubbed. And that's an extra job. Usually when I'm cleaning the bathroom, I just give everything a quick wipe down and it's like maintenance mode, it's fine. And that's taken me a long time to realize like this is fine. I just need to do the every few days a quick wipe and then nothing gets disastrous and it's fine. But right now the tub really needs to be scrubbed out. And so it's like, okay, next time I clean the bathroom, I will scrub out the toilet. Or I mean not the toilet, the tub. And so what has happened? For 2 weeks, I haven't cleaned the bathroom. Because next time I clean the bathroom, I have to scrub out the bathtub. I don't have time for that. I have to think about it. Like, oh, what am I even going to use? There are so many questions and it's an extra hurdle. And so instead of even just continuing to do what was a habit and just wiping things down real quickly, suddenly I'm not doing anything. This is perfectionism. And if this is your tendency, like the biggest progress and success comes when you recognize what's going on. And then you can take a step back and say, okay, I even realize, why am I not cleaning the bathroom? Oh, it's because I need to clean the tub. That feels like extra. And so I'm not doing any of it. This is perfectionism. And when we're aware of it, then we can work through it. But at least as far as I have experienced so far, it's not something that necessarily just goes away. It does get better, but a big part of what gets better is now I recognize it sooner. And now I have strategies for dealing with that default mode instead of just letting it rule. Or not even knowing what's going on and just doing whatever comes naturally is not going to be cleaning the bathroom, apparently. That's not going to come naturally. Yes, self-inflicted mission creep. Yes. So, this workshop is for you. These are the strategies to talk back to your perfectionism and to get traction even when you have perfectionism causing procrastination. I think that one of the most common reasons for procrastination is actually perfectionism. It's not the time. It's perfectionism. And so that's one thing that we are going to tackle today. Because one way that perfectionism can hold us back is because, I'm going to start that sentence over again. One way perfectionism holds us back is that our perfect idea, our perfect plan for cleaning the kids' bedroom, for dealing with the craft area, for tackling all the laundry, all these things, is we picture, okay, I know exactly what I'm going to be doing. I have the tools and the cleaner and the everything. I have the whole afternoon to do it, and I feel like doing it. I am ready. And then, we all have experienced those times where we are getting stuff done around the house and it feels great. And so we're like, well, I can get so much more done when I want to do the work, when I'm in the mode, I'm properly caffeinated, I've got the right music or a good audio book, and then I just go around and I'm doing a lot and it feels really great. And so we wait for that feeling to happen again, because when it comes, we're going to get so much done. But it just doesn't come, and it doesn't come, and it doesn't come, and everything gets worse and worse and worse. It doesn't mean that we're doomed, and it doesn't mean that something's broken. We actually just have it backwards. We don't start with motivation. Motivation actually comes after the motion has started. You see how, motive, like locomotive, motive is a motion word. And motivation doesn't get us started, actually. We think of it that way, but this is not the way it works. If you take a few minutes and observe, think back. Motivation is what keeps you going after you have started. You get more of what you practice. So you start folding the laundry and you recognize oh, that didn't take, folding that basket didn't take as long as I thought it would. And so I have an extra 10 minutes. I'm going to do that extra one. And then you do that one. And then you're like, oh, see, I'm good at folding. I'm getting some traction here. That feeling of traction and wanting to do more comes after you've you've overcome that hurdle of just getting started. So if you wait for the motivation, then you will get procrastination. And then you're practicing procrastination, which is waiting for the right mood. That will set you back. That's not the kind of mode that we want to be practicing. But if we practice just getting ourselves into action, doing the thing, we'll get more and more of that, and we will feel more and more motivated to do more and more of that. But the key is to be doing with baby steps, not doing completing the whole project, all that we want to do, getting the whole checklist checked off. Then we'll be motivated. You don't actually have to finish anything to start getting progress or motivation. You just have to get started. And the way you get started and the way you get progress is to take baby steps. And you can just take a baby step without even knowing where that's going to take you. So another way that perfectionism holds us back is that we want to have a plan of attack, or we want to have thought through the system. We want to know what the end result will be. So if we go to the example of my tub that I need to scrub out, and I'm using this as an example, I'm going to have to take care of this today, aren't I? One of the trouble spots for getting started with that is I've said I need to clean out the tub. Do I mean that I'm going to have to get out the scrubbing paste and scrubby and scrub it all down and rinse it all out? Or do I just mean I should get a wet rag and wipe it all down and make it better? Which kind of clean do I even mean? What am I going to count? If I pull out the scrubby and the paste and I'm scrubbing, what end goal am I working toward? How clean, am I gonna get all the hard water spots off? I'm not even sure about how to get some of those off. I don't know what the end that I'm actually wanting to get done is. I don't know what I'm going to count as being done. And so that just makes it extra, extra hard to get started. And that is perfectionism, wanting to know how it's going to turn out before getting started. So if you have craft areas or papers that, you're trying, if that's the thing you're procrastinating on, this is very likely a part of the problem is you don't know how they should be organized. You don't know if you have the bins. You don't know if you should go as far as labeling them. Like, organize is just too nebulous. It could mean too many different things, and there are a lot of decisions to make in there. And so instead of getting started, instead of breaking that down and doing a tiny bit, you let the scope of the problem stymie you and stall out. That's perfectionism. That's a big piece of what we are dealing with as women at home, with so many different things that we could be doing. And this is where baby steps come in. Baby steps really are the solution to these kind of quagmires we get ourselves all wrapped up in. Even it's in our head. A lot of it really is in our head. But that just means that we have to deal with it by dealing with our head, our attitude, our heart. Okay, so perfectionism leads us to the boom and bust cycle, where you start strong, you get started with that burst of energy and do as much as you can. You're just in that mode of, I'm going to do the things. This is the time it's going to work. Let's go. I've got my plan. Here we go. But usually that feeling doesn't last. And then we look at all of the projects we started when we were feeling on top of the world, or we don't make the kind of progress, we don't finish all the things we thought we would finish, or we get started here and then notice the problem over here, and we get overwhelmed. We start to recognize that strong start isn't going to take us to some kind of finish line. There's still more beyond what we were initially getting started with, and that feels defeating and discouraging, and so we get overwhelmed. Maybe we still try to push through. Maybe we are still trying to get to that point of having it all done, all the things crossed off, all the whole house clean, all the ducks in a row, and we burn out. If you go all out on Monday, then probably on Tuesday or Wednesday, you're going to have no energy at all, right? We have experienced this cycle. And maybe it's more than just the boom and bust cycle. This could be a cycle thing too, right? Sometimes you have more energy and sometimes you have less. And how do we work with that without feeling guilty? Because a lot of, again, our perspective problem, our attitude problem is thinking that if we get conditions just right, if we set up the right system, if we've made the right choices, if we make enough progress, if we have the right plan, then everything's going to work like clockwork. And that's where the overwhelm and burnout piece really comes into play, because people don't work like clockwork. People are not machines. And so when our desire and our goal and the outcome that we're looking for is everything is just finally going to happen the way it ought to, when it ought to, without variation, consistently, where that version of consistently means as if we are a factory, or as if our children or our families are a factory, that you can push the on button, it will have the steady state, and everything is just going to keep working. that's the wrong kind of steady. That's the wrong kind of consistency. That's not how people work. Factories work that way, and that's awesome. But our homes are not factories. Our homes are gardens. And you can't predict the weather, but you have to work with it. Every year is different from the one before. You can't just do the exact same gardening plan and routine with the exact same actions one year as you did the previous year, because the conditions are different. You have to be responsive to reality. And so instead of the boom and bust cycle, we need to learn how to be engaged with the process, responsive, and understand how we work, how people work, and what our real job is. So that includes not waiting for the motivation to get started. Motivation is a feeling. Being overwhelmed is a feeling. We can do something about how we feel. We do not have to be at the mercy of our feelings. Now, that's not the same thing as like killing all emotion, eliminating all emotion. That is not what I mean. But I mean, we don't let emotion lead. Emotion is best when it follows, not when it leads. And that includes motivation. Feelings help us continue in the way that we should go when they follow our decisions, our intentions, and truth. When we have a proper perspective, and when we do have our thoughts in order and our plans in order, and then we move forward with that, the feelings follow and help us continue in that path. But if we put feelings first and wait for the feelings to be properly in order before our actions, then they're actually going to hold us back from taking the actions. Our feelings need to be trained by our actions. But if we let our actions be trained by our feelings, we're not really going to get anywhere good. Feelings are not meant to lead. They are meant to support. So, because we don't start with motivation, we have to start with action then, and the motivation follows. The truth is that you are in charge of you. You can take action. You do not have to be at the mercy of how you feel. No matter how much you don't want to get up off the couch, you can. You are actually physically able. And the more that you choose that physically able ability to take an action despite your feelings, the more you will properly train your feelings, and you will have better feelings. Not feelings that will say, I think you should just stay on the couch and take it easy. Like, I don't even want to. Those are feelings that you don't want to indulge, because you will get more of them, and you will stay stuck on the couch if you let those feelings lead. But you do have the agency, the responsibility to get up and take actions that you should take. You can. Try it. It's hard. It's hard. And it's silly. I feel ridiculous when I realize how much self-control that it takes to get up off the couch when I don't want to just, well, obviously, like I said, I still need to clean the bathroom. I procrastinated on that, right? I indulged the perfectionism and the feelings, and what do I have? A bigger job to do. But if I tackle that job, I'm on the right track, and I am making progress. When we become aware of the problem, then we have the responsibility to address the problem. But again, this does not mean that you have to totally do it all. It means you have to take action, not complete or finish, completely redo, the whole thing. But you can do something significant. Small baby steps are truly significant progress. The biggest perfectionist excuse that holds us back from making progress and just getting something done is to say, what, it's not enough to count. It doesn't matter. I have to wait until I have enough time to do that job. And even worse, if we do spend, say 5 minutes putting things away in the kitchen. So let's pretend our job is clean the kitchen. That is a very vague, nebulous job. Cleaning the kitchen could mean many different things. Everyone could define a different standard. Like, when do you get to check that off? What does it mean to clean the kitchen? It's nebulous, it's vague. And so we can build it up to be this huge thing. Well, I don't get to count it until I have moved everything off all the counters and wiped everything down, including the cupboard faces, and until there's not a single crumb anywhere, it's not clean. Now, probably most of us are not that perfectionist, but there's some level of perfectionism where if we have 5 minutes and we use it to put things away in the kitchen, we still look at it and say, oh, I need to clean the kitchen. I haven't done anything. I'm so behind. And we don't recognize what we just did in 5 minutes. Not that it's done, but you actually are on the path of making progress. You just spent 5 minutes cleaning the kitchen. And to spend 5 minutes cleaning the kitchen and then say, I can't believe I let the kitchen get this messy. This is going to take hours to clean, and completely dismiss the progress you already made, you are going to be less and less likely to make progress, because progress actually happens in 5 to 10 minute increments. Even if you do spend an hour or 2 hours thoroughly cleaning the kitchen, that's still, those hours could be broken into 5 or 10 minute chunks of time where you were doing things all along that time. And to not say that it's done or that you have done anything worthwhile, to not recognize your progress anywhere along that time frame until the end, is to hold yourself back from ever taking 5 or 10 minutes to get something better. And that means that the jobs, the cleaning jobs, the tidying up jobs, will get worse and worse and worse until you have those big chunks of time to do it all, to get the job done, to completely clean, completely tidy, completely organize. Those jobs will always be massive. Because instead of doing a little bit here and a little bit there, and recognizing that progress so that you get some traction, and the more you practice and recognize work in 5 to 10 minute chunks of time, the more you'll take 5 or 10 minutes to do something, because you see it as counting. It counts. But if in your mind it doesn't count, unless it's a full 30, 40, 60, 90 minutes, then you're not going to get those small units of progress. And there's going to be more and more work to do as it builds up until you have those large spans of time. It is much more effective to count 5 to 10 minute chunks, baby steps. Even if you put a bunch of them together, to see it not as, to see an hour of cleaning not as one thing, but as 6 things that you did. That's motivating to have done something and to count it as 6, not 1. It makes a difference. It really does make a difference. Acknowledging that what you did is progress, that it does count as something, that it was worthwhile, is essential to then taking the next baby step. That is how you breed motivation. Like you get more of it. You take a little tiny bit and multiply it. And then you take a little bit and multiply it. The multiplication will come after you recognize something as worthwhile. But the more you trash talk your work and say, well, that didn't even count. I can't believe I didn't get it all done. I am so discouraged that it's going to take more time than that. That is demotivating. It will be harder and harder to get started. Again, it's an attitude thing. It's a perspective thing. Motivation is an emotion that you are training one direction or another. So baby steps are the way to multiply our motivation and our progress. A baby step is some task, some piece of a project that takes less than 10 minutes to complete. And sometimes, I mean, we do this all the time in the community. In Convivial Circle is my homemaking community. Sometimes that 10-minute task is actually just set a timer for 10 minutes and make things better. Where there's not even a clean the kitchen or make the bed kind of one complete task. But the 10 minutes itself is just the completion. I am going to tidy up the living room for 10 minutes. It's done when the timer is done, not when there's nothing that's no longer out of place. It is extremely effective, and if you've never tried it, you really should. A baby step does not have to finish some kind of job, but it should be a start on the job. You can make a significant start in 10 minutes, and starting is the hardest part. So starting with a baby step is huge. A baby step is a manageable step. It's not so big that you have to dedicate a lot of time to it or a lot of brain power to it. It doesn't take a whole lot of energy to get yourself going. A baby step should be small enough that's like, okay, if I can't do that, I'm really empathetic. Like, come on. You know, I can set a timer for 10 minutes. And that's what I should do with the tub, actually. Because I still, like, well, I don't know. How clean am I really supposed to get it right now? Before I say, okay, that's good enough. If I spent 10 minutes on it, I could probably get it way better than I even think, right? So my definition of the job being done could be clean the tub for 10 minutes. And I'll probably be looking at the clock, looking at my timer, like, but I already scrubbed it down in 5 minutes. And what am I going to do now? I guess I will tackle those hard water spots. See what I can get done in the last 5 minutes. That's huge. And you see, that's just a completely different attitude about the job, a completely different posture toward the work, where I'm no longer trying to get out of it. I'm no longer procrastinating. I'm no longer wondering if what I'm doing is good enough. Now suddenly I'm doing extra, but it's just 10 minutes. And I have 10 minutes. So there's no more excuse making. It's manageable. 10 minutes of something, that's manageable. And also, a baby step is imaginable. You are able to imagine cleaning a tub for 10 minutes, folding the laundry for 10 minutes. You don't have to predict whether or not that's enough time to get it all done. We are bad predictors. So we don't have to predict to make progress. We don't have to say, okay, the picture in my mind of a clean kitchen is this. That's my imagination of a clean kitchen. And so I'm not done cleaning the kitchen until I have achieved my ideal imagination of what my kitchen is like when it's clean. That's overwhelming. And it's hard to downgrade that and have an imagination of a mostly a functional, clean enough kitchen. But what you can imagine is setting a timer and start by tidying up, move to wiping down counters, and then if you have done that in 10 minutes, look around and say, what's bothering me most in the kitchen right now? I'm going to tackle that. It doesn't have to be this huge systematic thing. You don't have to wonder if you forgot something. Like, look around. Oh, you know what? That spot on the wall has been bugging me. I'm going to wash the walls. It's not like, well, I have to have, the whole cleaning schedule set up. So if I clean the walls this Tuesday, that means I'm now committing myself to clean the walls every Tuesday from here on out. It's like, no, it isn't. You're taking 10 minutes to make something better. You see the spot on the wall, it's bugging you, so you wash the walls for 10 minutes. That's doable. It's manageable. And you can imagine doing that. That can be a technique for managing and cleaning all these spaces in our home where the conditions and the use vary all the time. Those predictable cleaning schedules don't really work with family life because family life is not that scheduled and predictable. When something, the way that the kids are using the fridge and the food and the everything, this dinner versus that dinner, having people over or not having people over, the use that our space gets is variable. And that means that our management of our space has to be variable and address our actual circumstances and not some imagined way things should be. So we have baby step bingo inside Convivial Circle to help us practice taking baby steps, and mostly to practice recognizing baby steps and to practice counting baby steps. Because that's what I have seen over the years in helping myself. And obviously, I'm not a complete I still struggle with these things. I still have to do this myself. I still have to remind myself of these things. And so I don't mind bringing you along for my reminders. But what I have seen in myself, but also with other women in our community, is that we get the most overall progress when we practice counting small steps. We will get more small steps done when we count them. And more small steps is actually getting more done than waiting for one complete project, one full hour or hour and a half of cleaning. You can actually see so much more progress overall in your home when you take small steps, and you will get more of those small steps if you recognize how significant they are. And so baby step bingo is the way that our community has practiced counting baby steps as progress. And we've done it for the last several years. It's everyone's favorite challenge. And so you get the bingo card and it has small steps. Most of them are less than 10 minutes. Most of them are like 5-ish minutes. And actually printing it out and checking it off or coloring it in or whatever is the counting that it helps change our mindset. It actually does change our approach and our feelings and our understanding of our job and how we get things done. So the real power is in printing it off and actually checking things off and going for a bingo, going for a blackout. And there are prizes, real prizes. If you participate in Baby Step Bingo, if you're enrolled in Convivial Circle. So this is inside of our membership community. You'll get the bingo card and support throughout the week throughout the month. We do Baby Step Bingo this year in May. So the whole month of May, we're going to be working on Baby Step Bingo together. I'll have a weekly seminar on baby steps, on making progress. We'll have community chat and conversation all month long on baby steps and on your progress. And then at the end, or whenever you get a bingo, some people will get it the first week. Some people will, be submitting it on June 1st. There's a digital prize, an extra bonus workshop. If you get a bingo, so 5 in a row, and the middle space is free. But then if you get a blackout and you do all of them, so it's 24 things that are 5 minutes or less, this is totally doable, you get a prize in the mail. So it's going to be different than these prizes I'm giving away today. We have magnets, like Repent, Rejoice, Repeat magnet, as well as other things. I don't have the prizes put together yet, but there'll be bookmarks and stickers and magnets, and everyone who gets a blackout gets a prize. My 12-year-old daughter helps me stuff envelopes and address everything, and that's what we do. So I would like us to be stuffing loads of envelopes in June for all the people who completed Baby Step Bingo. Our challenge this year begins on May 1st, and you can go to convivialcircle.com to get started today. Well, you can't start the Baby Step Bingo today. What is it? May 1st is Thursday. But you could get yourself oriented to the community. If you join today, so this is for people that are here live in this workshop, you're seeing this. This part is not going to be in the replay. So this is for you here today watching. If you join today, you can use that 20% off discount code BINGO to get 20% off your enrollment. And because I would just really love to see you taking progress in your home and counting those baby steps. This really does work. Again, this is a 1-month challenge, and we also have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So try it. I dare you. If you try this Baby Step Bingo, you will be surprised. I would love to surprise you with how much you really can get done. Yes. It's very fun to get the purple stickers, right? All right. So if you go to convivialcircle.com, you can use that discount code BINGO. And now I will give away 2 more prizes for sharing. If you share this workshop live, just here, let's see. I'm just going to go up actually and find 2 who already said. So Maria Wise. Okay, if I can get this Maria Weiss and Angie Kerr. Email us at support@simplifiedorganization.com with your address, and I will mail that out to you. And then, let's see. I still have 2 more prizes. So, I think I'm just going to find someone's chat and just randomly win. So Crunchy Conservative, whoever you are, email us and you win a prize. And Kara Fair. I'm probably not saying people's names right. That is so true, Stacy. Stacy's inside Convivial Circle. She says, sometimes you finish a job in 10 minutes that you thought for sure was going to take an hour. This is good practice to just do all month long, because we start to get a better sense of how we actually work and the scope of the work, instead of letting our imaginations and our minds blow it up too big. Oh, Sarah, nice. Well, I'll try to make sure that the stickers are different, because you're going to do baby step bingo, right? Hopefully it won't be a duplicate. No, I have extras. I'll make sure they don't duplicate so that you can get all different things. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. I hope that this was a great pep talk, helpful. Would love to have you join us for Baby Step Bingo in May. Just go to convivialcircle.com to enroll and practice recognizing that 10 minutes makes a difference, that you are making significant small steps by spending 10 minutes of active, engaged work with your home. This is actually how we learn to love what must be done. By being engaged and aware and interested in the work in front of us. And these baby steps are how that begins. So I hope to see you inside Convivial Circle, and I will see you next time.